Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Welcome po sa News Up to Date. Ang topic po natin ngayong araw na ito ay tungkol po sa inilabas na cease and desist order ng Securities and Exchange Commission laban po sa SOPHIA Francisco Holding OPC, Financial Consultancy Services SOPHIA Francisco at SOPHIA Francisco Holding. So ito basahin natin ha. So in the matter of SOPHIA Francisco Holding OPC, Financial Consultancy Services SOPHIA Francisco at SOPHIA Francisco Holding. At ito nga, SEC-CD o case number 10-22-094 promulgated November 24, 2022. Ang movant ay ang Enforcement and Investor Protection Department or EIPD ng Securities and Exchange Commission. So basahin natin yung nakapaloob dun sa cease and desist order. This resolves the motion for the issuance of a cease and desist order filed by the Enforcement and Investor Protection Department on October 20, 2022, praying that a cease and desist order be issued directing the respondents, SOPHIA Francisco Holding OPC, Financial Consultancy Services SOPHIA Francisco and SOPHIA Francisco Trading, collectively referred to as the SOPHIA Francisco Group, together with Sophia Maria Andrea Francisco, DTI registered owner and agent, Gregorio Ramirez de la Cruz, single stockholder, director and president, Yolanda Ramirez Francisco, nominee, and John Mark Henares Francisco, alternate nominee, and all persons, conduit entities, and subsidiaries claiming and acting for and in its behalf to immediately cease and desist from further engaging in activities of selling and or offering for sale securities in the form of investment contracts until the requisite registration statements are duly filed with and approved by the Commission and the corresponding permits to offer and sell securities are issued, and prohibiting SOPHIA Francisco Holding OPC Financial Consultancy Services SOPHIA Francisco and SOPHIA Francisco Trading or any of its officers, representatives, salesmen, and agents from transacting any and all business involving the funds in its depository banks and from transferring, disposing, or conveying in any other manner any and all assets, properties, real or personal, including bank deposits, if any, of which the named persons herein may have any interest, claim, or participation whatsoever, whether directly or indirectly, under their custody immediately to forestall grave damage and prejudice to all concerned and to ensure the preservation of the assets for the benefit of the investors without authority from the Commission. So, parties. So, ito nga, movant EIPD is one of the Commission's operating departments, tasked among others to investigate motu proprio or upon complaint or referral violation of laws, rules, and regulations administered, implemented, or issued by the Commission, and to seek the issuance of a CDO whenever warranted by the circumstance. SOPHIA Francisco Holding OPC is a registered one-person corporation with the Commission bearing the company registration number 2022 0700605002-58 issued on July 19, 2022, and with principal address at Lazaro Street, Canumay West, City of Valenzuela, 3rd District, National Capital Region. So, ito yung nakasulat do sa kanilang Articles of Incorporation. So, ano ba yung purpose ng SOPHIA Francisco Holding OPC? So, ito nga, to invest in, purchase, or otherwise acquire and own, hold, sell, assign, transfer, mortgage, pledge, exchange, or otherwise dispose of real property and personal property of every kind and description, including shares of stock, bonds, debentures, notes, evidences of indebtedness, and other securities or obligations of any corporation or corporations, association, or associations, domestic or foreign, for whatever lawful purpose or purposes the same may have been organized, and to pay thereof in money or by exchanging thereof stocks, bonds, and other evidences of indebtedness or securities of this or any other corporation, stocks, bonds, debentures, contracts, or obligations, to receive, collect, and dispose of interest, dividends, and income arising from such property, and while the owner or holder thereof to exercise all the rights, powers, and privileges of ownership, including all voting powers of any stock so owned, provided that it shall not act as stockbroker or dealer in securities, nor solicit, take, accept, and or issue investments and or investment contracts from public investors. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pwede nga mag-solicit ng investment yung Sophia Francisco Holding OPC or yung Sophia Francisco Trading. So, ibig sabihin, illegal ang ginagawa nilang pagsusolicit ng investment sa publiko. At ito pa, makikita nyo doon sa Certificate of Registration, provided that the corporation shall not solicit, accept, or take investments or placements from the public, neither shall it issue investment contracts. Ha? Naka-emphasis pa yan. Ha? Yan po ang patunay na hindi sila pwedeng tumanggap ng investment sa publiko or mag-solicit na investment sa publiko kapag wala sila secondary license. So ito nga, albeit granted with a separate juridical personality, it is not authorized to sell securities without prior registration with the commission. Yan nga ay isang specific limitation na nakasulat mismo doon sa Certificate of Registration. So ito nga, this certificate grants juridical personality to this corporation but does not authorize it to issue, sell, or offer for sale to the public securities such as but not limited to shares of stock, investment contracts, debt instruments, and virtual currencies without prior registration statement approved by this commission. So, wag po kayo magpapaniwala dyan sa iba na sinasabi na crypto sila or virtual currency. Nakasulat po hindi kayo pwedeng mag-issue or magbenta kahit po ng virtual currency kung wala po kayong secondary license. So, illegal yung ginagawa dyan ng mga kumpanya na nagsusolicit na investment sa publiko at bibigyan ka daw ng virtual currency, 'di ba? Katulad nga niyang AstraZeneca at yung Cian Coin, yan po ay masasabi nating mga scam. So ito pa, to undertake business activities such as but not limited to acting as broker or dealer in securities, government securities, eligible dealer, investment advisor of an investment company, closed-end and open-end investment company, investment house, transfer agent, commodity, financial futures exchange, broker, merchant, financing, lending company and timeshares, club shares, membership, certificate, issuers, or selling agents thereof, nor to operate a fiat money to virtual currency exchange, nor engage in investment solicitation and investment taking requiring a secondary license from this commission. So, hindi rin pwedeng gumawa nga ng exchanger or yung mga foreign exchange, yung ibang mga company, di ba? Sinasabi nila na sila daw ay forex or exchanger o kung ano-ano tapos magsusolicit na investment sa publiko. Bawal din po yun. Meron din nagsasabi na sila daw ay nagpapautang kaya nga kikita daw yung perang ibibigay mo sa kanila bilang investment kasi papautang daw nila yon. Bawal din po yon. Kailangan may secondary license. At to act as a permit to undertake activities for which other government agencies require a license or permit. So, base po dyan, talaga masasabi natin na scam nga yung Sophia Francisco Trading kasi wala naman sila secondary license pero nagsusolicit sila ng investment sa publiko. At yung financial consultancy services Sophia Francisco at yung Sophia Francisco Holding ay hindi po nakarehistro sa SEC kahit na bilang isang korporasyon, kahit na bilang isang partnership. So ito po yung relevant facts. So acting on the numerous complaints, reports, and inquiries being received by the EIPD since September 2022 on the alleged unauthorized investment taking activities of the Sophia Francisco Group, the EIPD conducted a formal investigation of its operations for possible violations of the Securities Regulation Code or SRC Revised Corporation Code and such other rules and regulations enforced by the Commission. The investigation generated information and evidence that Sophia Francisco Holding OPC is actively offering and selling unregistered securities in the form of investment contracts to the public consisting of a minimum investment amount of 500 pesos per account with guaranteed earnings of as much as 3% daily for 20 days. Furthermore, Sophia Francisco Holding OPC also gives out a 5% referral fee to those who are able to invite new investors to Sophia Francisco Trading. On September 19, 2022, the Company Registration and Monitoring Department issued a certification that Sophia Francisco Holding OPC is registered as a one-person corporation but has not been issued a secondary license as a lending company, broker, and or dealer of securities, dealer in government securities, the investment advisor of an investment company, investment house, and transfer agent, and has not filed nor has any pending application for a secondary license with the department. On September 20, 2022, the Corporate Governance and Finance Department issued a certification that Sophia Francisco Holding OPC is not a registered issuer of mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, and proprietary or non-proprietary shares or membership certificates and timeshares pursuant to Sections 8 and 12 of the SRC, and therefore not licensed to offer or sell such securities to the public. On the same date, the Markets and Securities Regulation Department likewise issued a certification that it has not issued permit to sell securities in favor of Sophia Francisco Holding OPC. Due to the foregoing, on September 22, 2022, the Commission issued an advisory warning the public that the Sophia Francisco Group, headed by Sophia Maria Andrea Ramirez Francisco, is not authorized to solicit, accept, or take investments from the public since it has not secured prior registration and or license from the Commission as prescribed under Sections 8 and 28 of the SRC. Amidst the advisory, the Sophia Francisco Group continued to solicit investments from the public and tried to discredit the Commission by spreading false and or misleading information as reflected in its social media posts and as confirmed by the email reports received by the Commission. As a result of its investigation, the EIPD concluded and confirmed that the investment mechanism or system of the Sophia Francisco Group is based on a Ponzi scheme which relies purely on incoming investments to function continuously and is designed mainly to favor its operators, top recruiters, and or prior risk takers, but detrimental to subsequent members when the scheme eventually collapses due to scarcity of new investors. In the course of its investigation, the EIPD was able to confirm and verify the veracity of the information provided in the email complaints describing the modus operandi of the Sophia Francisco Group, which involves selling and or offering securities to the general public in the form of investment contracts with a guaranteed pure passive income derived from the investments from the public. Diretso na tayo doon sa desisyon ng Securities and Exchange Commission. So kung gusto nyo basahin yung buong dokumento tungkol nga dyan sa cease and desist order laban nga dyan sa Sophia Francisco Holding OPC, ay pwede nyo naman pong ma-access yan doon po sa website ng SEC. So ito nga, without the registration statement duly filed with and approved by this commission, the Sophia Francisco Group's act of selling and offering investment contracts constitutes a clear violation of Sections 8 and 12 of the SRC. This warrants and justifies the immediate issuance of a cease and desist order. Wherefore, premises considered Sophia Francisco Holding OPC Financial Consultancy Services, Sophia Francisco, and Sophia Francisco Trading together with Sophia Maria Andrea Francisco, DTI Registered Owner and Agent, at yung nagpapakilalang CEO ng Sophia Francisco Trading. Yan po ang mga hahabulin nyo. Una yan si Sophia Maria Andrea Francisco. Tapos si Gregorio Ramirez de la Cruz, siya po ang single stockholder, director, and president ng Sophia Francisco Holding OPC. So pwede nyo rin po siyang habulin. At si Yolanda Ramirez Francisco, nominee, at si John Mark Henares Francisco, alternate nominee. And all persons, conduit entities, and subsidiaries claiming and acting for and its behalf are hereby ordered to immediately cease and desist from further engaging in activities of selling and or offering for sale securities in the form of investment contracts or any others of the same nature, as discussed in this cease and desist order until the requisite registration statement is duly filed and approved by the Commission. Sophia Francisco Holding OPC, Financial Consultancy Services Sophia Francisco, and Sophia Francisco Trading, its operators, directors, officers, representatives, salesmen, agents, and any and all persons claiming and acting for and in their behalf are likewise directed to cease their internet presence relating to the transactions and investment scheme covered by this cease and desist order. The Commission will institute the appropriate administrative and criminal action against any persons or entities found to act as solicitors, information providers, salesmen, agents, brokers, dealers, or the like for and in their behalf. Finally, the Commission hereby prohibits Sophia Francisco Holding OPC, Financial Consultancy Services Sophia Francisco, and Sophia Francisco Trading and its operators, directors, officers, representatives, salesmen, agents, and any all persons claiming and acting for and in their behalf from transacting any business involving funds in its depository banks and from transferring, disposing, or conveying in any manner any and all assets, properties, real or personal, including bank deposits, if any, of which the named persons herein may have interest, claim, or participation, whether directly or indirectly, under their custody, to ensure the preservation of the assets of the investors. The EIPD of the Commission is hereby directed to serve a copy of this CDO to Sophia Francisco Holding OPC, Financial Consultancy Services Sophia Francisco, and Sophia Francisco Trading and their incorporators, operators, directors, and officers, namely Sophia Maria Andrea Francisco, DTI Registered Owner and Agent, Gregorio Ramirez de la Cruz, Single Stockholder, Director and President, Yolanda Ramirez Francisco, nominee, John Mark Enares Francisco, alternate nominee, and impose the appropriate penalties including revocation of certificate of incorporation if warranted, and submit a formal compliance report by way of pleading to the Commission and Bank within 10 days from receipt of this CDO. Let a copy of this cease and desist order be furnished to the Company Registration and Monitoring Department, Market and Securities Regulation Department, Corporate Governance and Finance Department, and the Information and Communications Technology Department of this Commission, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the Department of Trade and Industry, the National Privacy Commission, and the Department of Information and Communications Technology for their information and appropriate action, in accordance with the provisions of Section 64.3 of the SRC and Part 2 Rule 4, Section 4-3 of the 2016 Rules of Procedure of the SEC. The parties subject of this CDO may file a verified motion to lift the CDO to the Commission and Bank through the Office of the General Counsel within 5 days from the receipt of this order. So, ayan na nga, ha? Ayan, na-issue na nga na cease and desist order yang Sophia Francisco Trading. Pero alam naman natin na scam yan. At wala na nga yung Sophia Francisco Trading, di ba? Puro paasa na nga yan eh. Nung na-issue niya na advisory ay naging CryptoJix at ayun na nga. Kaya nga marami na nagre-reklamo dyan sa Sophia Francisco Trading. Alam naman natin yung Ponzi scheme talaga tataob at tataob yan at hindi talaga magtatagal. Kaya nga mga kababayan, iwasan nyo na po ang pag-i-invest sa mga ganyan mga investment schemes dahil talagang tataob yan sa huli. Mari, sa umpisa may payout pero sigurado tatakbuhan kayo niyan sa huli. Kaya nga para wala na kayong sakit ng ulo, umiwas na po kayo sa mga ganyan mga Ponzi scheme. Mga kababayan, huwag po kayo magpapasilaw sa kanilang malalaking pangakong kitaan dahil pinapadama lang kayo niyan. Sa umpisa may payout para nga magdagdag kayo ng investment o kaya mag-recruit kayo. Pero once na maabot na nila yung quota nila, bigla na lang po yung maglalaho. Mga kababayan, kung kayo po ay mag-i-invest, kailangan siguraduhin ninyo na yung pag-i-investa ninyo ay may secondary license at mas maigi po na i-verify po ninyo sa Securities and Exchange Commission. Mga kababayan, maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta sa aking channel. God bless po.